What?
Wait, we're recording a show? Got it. Tonight, 1988's Willow really was made the same year as Miyazaki's My Neighbor Totoro. This time, it'll be
facts.
a night of fact checks. On a budget of $35 million, it made $137.6 million. The benchmark for fantasy movies before the 90s hit. 100%. Russ.
And now it's just box office. What was the video game revenue?
Oh, man, wait. Hey, don't jump the shark, brother.
Yeah.
Don't jump the shark. Let's wait until the nostalgia portion of the show.
Right.
First, we're going to find out from Russell Craigie, when did Willow come into your life?
Oh, I actually very vividly know this. I was in 7th grade, and I watched it at River School. And the main reason I remember it is because the classroom would not stop saying, "Out of the way, Peck!" And that line has always stuck with me.
Absolutely. My other one that I've used my entire life is, "But who do that?" I don't know why, but I love that line delivery. Jason, what about you?
I don't quite remember the exact moment of my life when Willow came into my life, but I do remember it being definitely early 90s. So, I mean, it wasn't like exactly when it first came out, but it was pretty close. So, but I mean, I've watched it so many damn times over the years, but definitely early 90s for me.
Yeah. Joe?
I'm pretty sure I saw this in the theaters.
Yeah, you know, this is one of those movies I'm like, did I see it in the theater? I feel like I might have.
Pretty sure I saw it in the theaters. I don't think I can recall the specifics because I'm a huge fan of it from the moment I first saw it. But Willow was a presence for many years, like not just the year that I was first introduced to it, but it was an influence for many years.
Yeah. I mean, so I did a little deep dive into fantasy movies. I excluded animated or puppetry.
But wait
so Dark
minute.
Crystal doesn't get a memo.
What about when it came in your life?
Oh, well, I'm about to tell you if you shut the fuck up. So just talking about the 80s. Clash of Titans, right? Roman mythology, Greek mythology, just 100% something I loved. Dragon Slayer, I've mentioned on this show. Didn't like it as much as when I was a kid, but growing up, God, dude, that movie does more for D&D in my life. And then Excalibur.
That's a shame.
Remember Excalibur?
Excalibur, definitely.
That was the benchmark for many years for the fantasy movie. Time Bandits, I always felt like kind of over my head.
Sci-fi.
Not exactly a fantasy, more sci-fi.
Sci-fi. Yeah,
so
definitely
again,
a sci-fi benchmark.
Okay,
off the list. 82, Conan comes out. You know, decent. 83, Kroll. Here's where I think Joe and I diverge. Not a huge Kroll guy. I remember Joe having it on a VHS recorded tape off of HBO or whatever.
I bought that movie many times.
Right, yeah. 84, Never Ending Story. Finally, a kid gets to be in the story, and it's great. Lady Hawk Legend and Red Sonja all come out the same year. If they would have put them all together, maybe one of them would have been really good. All of them instead kind of fall flat.
No, Never Ending Story. Atreyu? Are you kidding?
No. Never Ending Story's 84.
Oh, okay.
And is the benchmark. It's the new level where fantasy movies need to hit.
I thought you were lumping it in with those other two.
No, that's 85. Those three all come out in 85. Legend gives us Tim Curry in the Darkness costume, which is just, yeah. Anyway, Labyrinth, right? 86, Labyrinth, the new benchmark, even though no kids are in it.
I mean, Legend, huge cult hit, but you're definitely stacking them. Like, it was growing quick in the 80s.
Right? You can see the progression. Huh?
What did you pick for 82 again?
82, the only real fantasy that came out besides the Dark Crystal, because I said puppets are not allowed.
Okay. Never
Conan.
mind.
Talking real people. 87, Princess Bride.
Boom.
Now you've got to beat The Princess Bride. And 88, Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe comes out, and it's like, all right, finally, beloved series getting its due.
But the treatment sucked.
Then here comes Willow, 1988. And I feel like is the fantasy movie for many, many years. We don't have another good fantasy movie until 96 with Dragonheart. Debatable.
That doesn't.
Got Sean Connery.
The only reason the only reason that movie is good is because of the actors.
Dude, it's like Willow hits, and then fantasy movies are like, nah, we can't really do it until 2001, when there is a new bar set that will likely never be exceeded.
Yeah.
Lord of the Rings, Fellowship of the Ring,
it will never be topped.
I don't think so either. So fantasy movies, this one is, I feel, really, really important. I think I saw it in the theater. Used to watch this movie all the time. And let's rate it and grade it. This one's definitely a B+ for me. I feel like it's one of the best fantasy movies out there. Going through the trivia for this show, it really had a lot to say. Russ, what do you give this movie in a grade?
Oh, sorry. Was just taking a sip there.
Small bubbles bad.
That's why I called on you.
I was really trying to think, am I rated and grade it while watching this movie? Because I could give it a low rating or a high rating and be happy with either one. And I could stand by either one. It's so charming no matter which side of the fence you would be on in that category. I think it holds up somewhat well today watching it. Yeah, watching it literally 5 minutes before we started this. I'm going to agree with Ben and give it a very solid B+.
Absolutely. Jason, what do you think?
Man, you picked apart a lot of 80s movies there in that little intro. That was pretty good. This movie, to me, is an A-. I agree with everything you're saying. The only thing that didn't really keep up with me was kind of the CGI stuff they had with the dragon, if that's what you call it, the two-headed dragon, the Siskel and Ebert thing, whatever the hell it was.
Mm-hmm.
That kind of
Siskel and Ebert.
That's what they named it. Was Ebersis.
Nice.
Wow, that's awesome.
The reason why I brought it up from the B range to an A- was because of the music. I mean, it was pretty spot on. I mean, music was definitely head of its game.
To like comment on that, because I wanted to talk about music, was I feel like if I was watching the music now or the movie now, the music does not hold up, but it's so nostalgic. Every song in this is like, I remember that song. Mm-hmm. And I remember that song when they're in that cart chase scene and they're playing, like, every song that in this is in another movie somewhere.
Yeah. I read a tidbit that the music from this movie was used for the next decade in trailers. They just dropped it in for thematic elements. Joe, what do you give it?
Fuck this movie. This shit gets an F. No.
For fantasy.
Really. Yeah, exactly. A W. This is lower than an F. No. B. I'd probably give it a B. Watching it again, it didn't hold up on the overarching story theme. It was very tongue-in-cheek-ier than I remembered it being. Like, I took it way more seriously when I was younger. Duh.
Right.
But yeah, but watching it now, it was like, yeah, it's a little formulaic, but they do a really good job keeping it cute. The Brownies are there for the comic relief.
Dude, I think they make the movie.
I mean,
honestly,
they really raised the level.
Mardigan.
And Matt Mardigan, he's got his spot, but bro, those Brown, and like, I'm just gonna go out and say it right now on my rating, grade it. Best actor, the baby. I'm just
so cute, right?
I'm just throwing it out there, like, for
so
the way they frame those facial expressions. And, oh, dude, done.
Yeah, baby,
her little smirk, like, what the fuck are you talking about?
Oh,
yeah. Yeah.
all of it. So, anyways, B.
All right.
I've got some.
So here's the next question. Only Joe can answer it because I think only Joe is qualified. Which was better, the arcade game or the NES Willow?
The arcade game, hands down.
Dude, spent so much time on the NES game, but God, this was a great arcade game.
Dude, this was probably one of the best arcade games I've ever played. This came out, and then Ninja Turtles came out, and everybody was all about the Ninja Turtles. Like, fucking
Ninja Turtles was really good.
Dude, Willow had Ninja Turtles.
Hell yeah.
Hands down.
Try and get past that Cartwright escape in Willow. Yeah, try that.
Ben, do you remember? We were walking down the street.
Stop and go.
Stop and go.
Down the street. Absolutely.
Tell it. Tell the story. We were there. We were playing. And
well, the corner story that I believe you're alluding to, it was for Ninja Turtles. It was not for Willow. Yeah, I got a good memory for this shit.
I don't think it was Ninja Turtle. I think it was Willow.
No, it was Ninja Turtles for sure. We've gotten further than we ever had.
You walk in the door, you freaking turn to the left, and they had the Willow machine sitting over there. Ninja Turtles, they had it on the right of the door.
I remember when they got rid of it, and I was like, I'm never fucking coming back here. Bullshit.
But I'll be back
anyway, locations. I really had fun recognizing locations, especially after I did some research. They go to Bernie Falls, the first, the big waterfall they pass on their journey out of the, for lack of a better term, Shire, whatever it's called. That's Bernie Falls. Been there. Russ, you've been close to there. That's close to Madrone, where we like to go camping.
Yeah,
yeah, not too far away. Really,
Joe
really
has been there too, although he does not remember it.
I have been there. I couldn't recall it specifically seeing it though. It was a long time ago.
And then New Zealand. They shoot a lot in New Zealand on this. You know, fast forward many years to 01. But
and I read that there wasn't many films recorded in New Zealand until this movie came out, and then they started obviously doing more films out there. But man, some of those snow-capped mountains and those scenes were pretty legit in the background.
At the crossroads, really notice it at the crossroads. You catch that in the background. Yeah, really great.
It looks like a fantasy land. You don't see land like that anywhere else. That's why Peter Jackson went there for Lord of the Rings.
Well,
I will
also
say
he's from New Zealand and no COVID.
Well,
hey.
One of the reasons this movie for me like gets to that B+ range, to quote Joe, it's so formulaic, but it is perfectly formulaic. Like every shot, this is the D&D campaign for the ages.
Very well balanced.
I think a lot of that has to do with the director, which is a great segue into the amazing Ron Howard. Let's face it, he started out as Opie, right, in Andy Griffith's show. But dude, his run from 82 with Night Shift, debatable how great it is, but it's a good movie.
I love Night Shift.
Dude, I know. Up until damn it, I lost my other year. Shit. 2005, dude. Up until 2005, not one miss. Except maybe the missing. That was kind of a whatever.
It was in the title. Yeah.
Dude,
Ben, could you do us all a favor real quick? Could you just hold up the notes which you're trying to find these dates on?
I did some highlights. I couldn't do them all.
Highlights.
Cocoon. You remember seeing Cocoon as a kid?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, wow. That movie's
Fundamental.
Gung Ho, one of my favorites, is a frog's ass watertight. Parenthood with Steve Martin. We're going to do that eventually on this show. Backdraft, Apollo 13, The Grinch, Cinderella Man, and then Da Vinci Code. Dude, this guy knows how to make movies. Also, his brother, Clint Howard. So funny.
Wow.
Yeah, if this movie is missing anything, it's a cameo from Clint Howard.
Cinderella Man? He did that?
Yep. I love that movie. That's a great movie. Fucking
that movie
great movie.
Is like forgotten I feel, for how amazing it is. No one talks about it anymore, and it's so good.
So good. Just
We're talking
rich
about
drama. Rich drama. So besides the director moving backwards in the wad, we're going the doll. Now we're just going to skip the W. Well, let's talk about some of the actors. Let's talk about the biggest actor, top billing in this movie. Even though he's not the title character. What?
Who wrote this? What?
Oh, I don't know.
Okay.
George Lucas came up with the story, and they got some dude to write it.
Some random guy. Yeah.
Okay, that's actually his name. Is some dude. That's how he's billed in the credits.
Keep going.
Some dude. Yeah, somebody just froze. It was me. It was you. It was you. Me. You.
It was Ben.
It was definitely Ben.
Val Kilmer. With the Val documentary coming out so recently, it's a perfect time to reflect on Val Kilmer. This guy has had like a stock chart of a career. Started out with Top Secret. How many people here have seen Top Secret?
The Pinto. The Pinto. I'll never forget the Pinto. That and the friggin' spinning on the rug in the bar.
There is so much, dude. That's what is it? The Zuckers who did Airplane. Like before they got into it, the guy with the magnifying glass, and then he takes it away, and he's got the huge eye. Top Secret. If you haven't seen it, watch it.
One of the few times you'll hear Ben and I agree on a movie of that caliber,
and it's absolutely ridiculous. We won't agree on Anchorman, but we can agree on Top Secret.
Exactly. Fucking.
Follows it up with Real Genius, which is a grade A80 comedy.
Yeah.
Oh my god. Entry. Grade A comedy. And then, dude, he's fucking Top Gun. He comes in the Top Gun as the adversary, and it's like, who is this fucking guy? He's amazing.
Made Tom Cruise look like a chump.
Wow. Like a chump.
He grabbed. And what a perfect move for him, like to friggin' be the tall blonde opposite the short brunette heartthrob in that movie. I mean, just friggin' what a tee off for his career.
I feel like you didn't know Tom Cruise was short for a long time.
Well, he wears inserts on every show.
Was he in Willow too? Oh, never mind, sorry.
When I watched Val Kilmer, especially in like Willow and Top Gun, I feel like, is he the poor man's Brad Pitt?
The poor man's, he's just before Brad Pitt.
Yeah,
Brad Pitt took over his legacy.
Brad Pitt wouldn't exist without Val Kilmer.
Man, Brad Pitt is Doc Holliday in Tombstone. I'll watch that movie.
So that was
Val Kilmer's Doc Holliday.
Val Kilmer pick. Yeah.
Tombstone.
Yeah, that's the best one.
No, I'm saying if you swap them, probably Brad Pitt does a great job in that movie.
Yeah,
but I get you.
But yeah. I feel like they are so similar in the way they act, the way they look, their caliber of acting potential. But for some reason, Brad Pitt just overtook him, and then Val Kilmer got fat, and then he got cancer, and then he
Robert Redford. Wow. Brad Pitt was building off the Robert Redford legacy.
Don't look at me like that.
True.
God damn it.
That's very true. That's very true. Brad Pitt did take up Robert Redford's legacy for sure. Val Kilmer had a real run of stinkers for a while. He did a few misses after Willow, and then was in The Doors, which probably immortalized him. And then he's credited as the mentor in True Romance. So he's Elvis talking to Christian Slater in his mind. Another movie we should do is True Romance. Then he comes out with Batman Forever and Heat the same year.
Which is crazy. So it's not even the same Val Kilmer.
The second he finished Batman Forever, he started on Heat like the very next day.
Right.
I know it's not his fault, but I always relate Val Kilmer specifically to Batman having nipples, and I feel like it's his fault.
That's George Clooney.
Is it? It's Val Kilmer in my mind. It's Val Kilmer in my mind. He must have suggested it on the way out.
Russ's mind.
What kind of Batman you watching?
Loves thinking about Val Kilmer's nipples.
Yeah.
Prince of Egypt. Do you know that Prince of Egypt was one of the first offerings from the SKG DreamWorks trying to get themselves on the map. And they poured so much into that movie to make it a hit.
It was so bad.
What? Shut your... Ugh. Gross, dude. Prince of Egypt is a great movie. And then he's in a big slump until he gets revitalized in 2005 with Kiss Kiss Bang Bang, which really him and Downey Jr. kind of brought them back. They started being a commodity again. And then
Downey Jr. fucked it up again.
Did he?
That guy.
How? He became Tony Stark.
Well, no, there was a delay between those movies.
Yeah, he fell off. There was another slump.
And I'm sure it's because he just did a bunch of drugs again.
Val Kilmer's last great role, Kunth in MacGruber.
What was that?
Kunth in MacGruber.
What about the movie that he did where
say
he
one more time?
What'd you call Russ?
What was it?
Kunth.
Hey, watch your mouth.
Yeah.
Just talking about MacGruber. Dude,
so
MacGruber.
Soundbite.
So fucking funny, MacGruber. What's some great Val Kilmer roles I left out? And who's going to say the Saint? Just say it quickly.
Well, the Saint. I mean, obvious.
Yeah, I knew it was you. I knew it was you.
I only said it because you told me to. I was actually wanted to mention the one that he plays the blind masseuse who gets his vision back. That one wasn't bad.
Okay. All right. Russ is going to Google it. Jason, when you think of Val Kilmer, what do you think of?
I'll Be Your Huckleberry.
Yeah. Tombstone, Doc Holliday, for sure.
Top Gun.
This is a Russ specific movie that we've already talked about. And I don't think it it's not necessarily Val Kilmer's best role, but it's one of my favorite movies. The Ghost in the Darkness. Love that fucking movie. And he is the main character in it.
He is. He's the darkness, right? No, he's the ghost.
No, the Ghost and the Darkness are two different lions.
I know. I've seen it.
In Africa.
It's a true story.
Now I remember that.
True story.
Who's the opposite in that?
Michael Douglas.
Michael Douglas.
Michael Douglas.
Yeah.
For sure. Yeah,
It's
we need more
such a
Michael
good
Douglas.
story.
Michael
Romancing
Douglas
the Stone, coming soon.
Yeah, we need to do that.
Coming soon.
If you guys just
I'm down.
If you just Wikipedia page The Ghost in the Darkness, it's such a scary, interesting, true story.
Just some crazy white lions killing people in the night.
Fun facts with Russ.
Lastly, on actors, let's close it out with Mr. Warwick Davis. He's 17 when he makes this movie.
Yes, he is.
17. That means he's 12 years old when he's hanging out on a log with Carrie Fisher in the Northern California woods. Just a little guy. Oh, wait, no, they made that in England. I was going to say that's not Northern California. Right. Also, Leprechaun.
No way. Really?
He's in every movie. Yeah, he's the Leprechaun.
I didn't know that.
With Jennifer Aniston launched her career.
Wow, I remember that. Yeah.
Hella shit in
Wait, are you
Harry
talking
Potter.
about the lead, the Willow? Are you talking about
Yeah.
Willow himself?
Yeah,
I didn't
yes.
know his name.
Warwick Davis, yeah.
There you go.
If you guys have never seen Life's Too Short, the HBO series with Ricky Gervais, Stephen Merchant, and Warwick Davis is so fucking funny with that. He really got into the physical humor. He's got one where he forgets to let go of a door as he's getting out of like a Jeep and he flies off of it. Dude, Warwick Davis, really fun dude. I would love to meet him in real life. Also, fun fact, General Kale with the mask, same dude who gets chopped to bits in Raiders of the Lost Ark.
All right.
By the propeller on the plane.
You remember Tom Sizemore in our favorite recent movie?
Yeah.
Saving Private Ryan. Do you know where I'm going with this, Ben?
Size more and size less. It sounds like something you'd say because you're a callous fuck.
Sizemore, I feel like the only other movies I ever think of him, other than Saving Private Ryan, are Paparazzi, which I don't know if I would recommend it, but
nobody knows that movie, Russ.
Dude, I mean, if you ever watch someone kill somebody with a camera, that's the movie. But
interesting.
Red Planet. Val Kilmer's also in Red Planet.
He is in Red Planet.
That's a good one. I enjoyed Red Planet.
Not a good
about
movie.
The Republican planet,
but it's
right?
fun to watch.
Yeah.
Also,
it's the Saint 2 is what it should
Ben,
It's the Saint too.
Ben,
All right.
do you remember right around the time Crash came out, Deja Vu also came out? Wasn't as good as Crash.
Denzel. Yeah.
But,
Kilmer is also in that.
yeah.
Not as good, but interesting. Jessica Biel's in that too, right?
Nobody knows the answer to that
I
but
think
you.
so.
Google.
I'm pretty sure she is, which makes that movie a step up. Dude, the Brownies. Let's talk about the Brownies real quick to close this category out.
Dude, the laugh.
Yeah.
Dude, it's like the quintessential laugh track for a long time after this.
Yeah.
Like so many
Rule
people
and
pulled that.
Frangine are their names. Yeah, I stole the baby from you, you stupid Daikini, while you were taking a pee-pee. Yeah. Dude, I cannot tell you how much as a child I laughed as I stole the baby while you were taking a pee-pee. Fucking hilarious.
The Brownies were funny, and they were key contributors. They were they probably more than anyone else were very comparable to Pippin and the other one,
Mary.
Pippin and Mary, yeah, because they brought the reinforcements.
So who were the little people in this movie? Was it the Brownies?
Not okay.
So, all right, let's move on from that.
I thought we were going to talk about world records. Wizard of Oz.
Yeah, I read a little tidbit that Warwick Davis thought that there was a casting call that included about 200 to 250 of little people in this movie. You're saying Wizard of Oz holds the record at 137?
124 is what I found. 124 is what I've heard what I've read is the record for the number of little people employed on one set.
It's like small talk. So do you know?
Yeah, I got to back up Joe on this. The internet does say it's Wizard of Oz, and it is 124.
And if you read it on the internet, it must be true.
Has to be
that's true. That's true. Very true.
The big road.
But interestingly enough, just little side fun facts with Joe. Apparently, in the 30s, when the Wizard of Oz was made, there was a actual gentleman by the name of Sal who organized the little people in an effort to make sure they got fair rights and representation in Hollywood. So more power.
He actually called it the Lollipop Guild, right?
That's what I saw. That's what the internet said.
I just kept researching this as you guys were talking. The internet says that the Wizard of Oz wanted 300, only got 124, but somehow holds the record. And the internet also says that Willow was between 225 and 240.
Ah, interesting. Well, there we go.
So then one number sounds bigger than the others.
It is, but it's not the record, according to the internet. Yeah.
So this movie was what?
The internet wins.
Yeah, always. This movie was one of the first movies to have the CGI of the morphing, where she's changing from animal to animal. Doesn't look that shitty. Honestly, for the first movie to incorporate it, not bad.
No, I wanted to make a comment specifically on the special effects for the year this came out compared to even to the most modern stuff. Dude, well done.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm in agreement. It's so all the special effects are so obvious, but even 30 whatever years later, 33 years later, it's meh.
Yeah,
that's pretty good.
The fairy,
some of the CGI. That part was a little sketchy for me. The biggest one that stands out for me is the Hydra. I see the Hydra and I think of movies like Harry Potter.
Dragon didn't sprout a new head. I hate to be a rules nerd.
Oh yeah, no, you're right.
Didn't sprout a new head when it blew up. And what a great death that is, dude. I forgot that they actually pin the mouth shut and its head explodes. Very satisfying.
The special effects on this for me specifically, make me question, because that long ago, those are probably considered like, wow, this is amazing. What are we going to think in 30 years from now when we look at Avatar and we're like, this is obviously not like...
Yeah, but these blue people aren't real.
But in 30 years, you're going to have...
I can't believe that.
Full haptic VR.
Dude, think of where they're at with deep fakes right now. They can literally put anybody's face on anybody else's face and make them say anything.
I could be Tom Cruise right now if I wanted to.
Nah, you got to slouch in your chair just a little bit.
And run a lot.
I did want to say this one thing, and maybe it will actually make someone on this change their rating. The only reason I could never get over a B+ on this movie is because the Princess Bride just squashes this movie so much for me. It is far superior. Would you guys agree?
I don't feel like they're in the same category. Not in
the
movie itself. No, they're not. They're not even close to the same movie.
This one tries to stay genuine to a story where you believe that these Nelwins are venturing out into a world of bigger people.
Yeah, at the end of the day,
Princess
it's an adventure.
Bride is. I feel they're different.
Yeah, Princess Bride is a total tongue-in-cheek, on the nose.
Okay. Which one is better?
Princess Bride.
Yeah.
I mean, there's no fucking question.
So,
no question.
That being said, and then being kind of similar, Jason, you did give this movie an A-. Where do you put Princess Bride? And because of that thought, would you change your rating?
Man,
Jason quickly Googles what his grade was on the Princess Bride.
I'll go.
I think Jason did the Princess Bride. Did you?
I didn't.
No,
but
I picked it.
So
right.
I think that, with all being said, I think I would go B+. I think I kind of agree with that because Princess Bride is better. I would see that as a solid A movie, and this one has to come down a little bit if that's the rating and grade it. So.
See, and I wouldn't agree with that because the Princess Bride didn't have anything approaching the special effects that this movie had. Nothing.
This is a better
nothing close
movie.
If anything, Princess Bride went a little tongue in cheek with.
I've come for your soul.
Just because I like the giants in it, that's why.
But Joe, to me, I think that's one of the reasons that Princess Bride stands the test of time better. Because when I watch it today, I don't notice the little flaws as much. Like the biggest thing would be the what are they? The rats of the swamp. What are those things called?
Rodents of unusual side, ROUSs.
Yeah, they. That's the most, I think, identifying dating point.
Do you think those are better or worse than the devil dogs in this movie?
The devil dogs are better. They are better. But this movie has more things that make it go like, that's a fucking old movie. Whereas you could show the Princess Bride to some 11-year-old today after they watched the movie Avatar, for example, just because we said that recently. And they might not be able to date it as well as if they watched this movie side by side. Also, The Princess Bride is just a better movie. The acting is far superior.
You're just trying too hard.
Willow did not have Wallace Shawn as Vincini, so it's true.
Every person in
Princess Buttercup Bride is hot, but Sorcia's got her.
What? There's no fucking way. Robin Wright now. They got divorced, huh? Robin Wright.
Oops.
Wow. Yeah, I read, so you know that Sorcia and Mad Mardigan get married after this movie. So do Val Kilmer and Joanne Whaley in real life. She didn't tell him, this is just a fun fact I read while doing stuff for the show. She didn't tell him she wanted to get a divorce. When he left to go do The Ghost in the Darkness, she filed her papers and he learned about it in the tabloids watching TV in the hotel room.
Yikes.
That's fucked up.
Poor Val. Val's got
fucked up.
Val's got
Sorcia's evil. This is a good time to bring up stuff that we just missed. Jason, you brought it up before the show. You were going to bring up an interesting deleted scene. Let's see if it's the same one I was thinking of.
The one with the acorn's kind of weird. But the one I was
The boat
was the boat with the fish and the bald guy. Like, what's going on there? They cut it out because the fish looked horrible. Is what I was reading. But I haven't actually seen the scene myself. I just saw tidbits of it. So, check it out.
Did not think you were going there. So there's a deleted scene where they're at the castle of Tir Asleen, right? And they've got all the people in stone. And Sorsha finds her father, that Bavmorda has actually turned to stone. The father communicates with her through the stone and convinces her to turn to the good side. And I always felt like, why did she bother to turn? Was it really because she was so smitten with this dude? So that's like a big piece they cut out that I thought probably really would not have worked at all, but makes the story much better.
Oh, yeah. No,
I agree with Ben.
No, I agree totally, too. It was a total disconnect for me watching it this time. And, like, probably contributed to a lot of my personal failures in relationships. That you just tell a chick you love her and she's gonna friggin' turn over like that. It's like, no, dude.
How come I'm not as smooth as Mad Mardigan?
Like, she doesn't even try to escape until he's like, yeah, no, I don't remember saying that. It's just pillow talk, baby. And all of a sudden he's got an elbow in his ribs. Like, bitch.
Pillow talk.
We need to watch that movie too. Coming back to Joe's formulaic comment, like the only reason you get away with the whole her switching sides is because it's formulaic, it's love, whatever.
It was, absolutely. Yeah, no, absolutely. I can see why that scene got cut. I could see how it could have made the movie better, but it didn't play with the way it was written.
No, it for me as like a critic of movies nowadays, it needed that scene. That was
my new career.
Yeah, my new career of 4 subscribers.
No, they've been doing this a year and a half.
But I agree with Ben that the movie was one of the weakest points in the entire plot. It was just like, really?
Yeah. Why the hell would she do it? Also, just because we're talking about parts that don't work, they immediately figure out that midwife has taken the baby, but she gets like a 4-day lead on the dogs. There's no way she'd be out on that rocky part. Just,
dude, still covered in afterbirth.
Also,
those dogs would have followed that baby easy.
Did you guys notice that it went from like new birth baby to all of a sudden?
Oh, dude, you mean 3-month-old baby to 5-month-old baby within a day? Yes. Yeah, that's not a newborn.
They covered it though. Like, I mean, they gave the appropriate time. If you look, there's the passage
down the river.
She's
for like
just
2
been
months.
living in the woods by this stream that she's going to push it down.
Living off the land.
Hey, speaking of which, better baby down the stream, Elora Danan or Moses? Who do you think?
Elora Danan.
No answer. No comment.
Really? I'm not going to answer that question, but Moses.
Pussies.
That was good.
Sorry.
That was good. All right. I just got a couple of final questions for you guys just to round it out. Do you know what the one thing Willow needs to sleep at night soundly is?
No.
Willow's pillow. You know, they had another deleted scene when Willow's a baby. It was supposed to be integral to his being a good father. Do you know what his parents said when he spilled his milk? Willow, spill, oh. And then what's Willow's favorite way to cook meat?
I don't know. What is Willow's favorite way to cook meat?
Sous vide.
That's so stupid.
All right. It was supposed to be Willow's Grillo, but nobody could.
I'm so proud.
Nobody could guess Willow's Grillo. So, any other points? Any other things we need to discuss with Willow?
John Cusack tried to take the part of Mad Mordigan, which I thought was kind of funny. There's no way he would have played that part well.
You know, but what an interesting idea, John Cusack as Mad Mardigan, honestly. And he says it's his biggest regret for the role he didn't get.
Interesting. I don't think he could have pulled that off.
I mean, Sylvester Stallone would have killed it, but not John Cusack.
Right.
Yeah, I would move this to an A- if Sylvester Stallone was in that role.
100%.
The only thing that's I've always wondered about this movie was that scene when Val Kilmer first gets the sword and he's doing the little thing and Willow says, "You are great." And he does the little flip and catches it and then loses his footing and slips on his ass.
Uh-huh.
Dude, that had to be an outtake. And kudos for them for friggin' putting that in the movie because it just played so perfecly.
Either that or Val Kilmer is a fantastic physical actor. Which
I can't. I'm not. I rewatched that specific scene like 6 times tonight, right before the show, and there's no way. There's no way he planned that out. There's no way. That's my little tidbit.
All right.
Like and subscribe.
Yeah, please. If you've gotten this far, we got more movies coming. Speaking of which, Russ, I believe you're up next with our pick. What are we going to be discussing?
I want to put.
Is it the 3-hour version of Willow?
It is not, but I am going to put it somewhat to a vote. Do you guys want an action movie or a comedy?
Is this fucking democracy now?
Yeah, I mean, Jesus, what? Why don't we put it to a vote to all of our subscribers, and then we won't have a next episode?
No. I want the 3 of you. There's 3 people. You can't have an even number. Come on.
Well, if Ben and Russ are with Ben and Russ in the mix, it can't be comedy. Or we'll never put the death of Stalin.
I think the vote should matter for anyone that doesn't say the Die Hard is a Christmas movie. So let's just move on from that stat.
It's true. It's true.
Whatever.
We just did an action movie before we did our fantasy movie. Let's do a comedy. That's my vote.
Comedy.
I'll roll with the comedy. Let's do it.
Sure.
All right, you guys heard me talk about it. Let's do This Is 40.
So what's your action choice?
Yeah, what was plan B?
Yeah.
I will save it for later.
Oh, really? What was plan B?
I'm about to be 40.
You really want to know?